And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Market Reflection. A little disorganized here. How's everybody doing today? I guess we're all probably a little bit discombobulated. Powell, what else can you say, right? We have our equities down, crude oil down, gold down, euro down, even the treasuries a little bit. Everything got knocked for a loop today with Chairman Powell. Dow, well, even the S&P is down about 63 points. The Dow, is this correct? Nasdaq was down about 1.24%. It was 153 points. I may have missed something here. And the Dow futures down 582. I remember in 87, the Dow closed down, I think it was 504. A much larger percentage of actual price was really the issue. Crude oil down $2.88, 77.58 settlement with a 3.5% loss in price. You didn't really have that much of an opportunity to see anything else that happened in crude oil today. As we kind of watching the equities, tough trading day. So again, Powell drops a bomb, steps on longs, at least for now. How big a deal is this? He's probably going to be saying pretty much the same thing tomorrow. So, of course, we'll all be watching. We'll see if there's any real good reaction or bad reaction to what he has to say. But higher rates for longer expected overall. I think that's the biggest kind of take that I've pulled from the information. He says the labor market still remains tight. We'll get some more information on that tomorrow, I believe. No. Yes, ADP employment tomorrow, jobless claims on Thursday, unemployment on Friday. So, along with Chairman Powell, we'll be getting some inflation, some unemployment information as well. Many unusual factors are affecting inflation. I don't know what he means by that, but nobody knows how this will turn out. Of course, we all know that. And he says we must continue to tighten. So the good Fed chair speaking relatively hawkishly, and the market did not like it. We've also got a little bit of a further complication in geopolitics. Apparently, the Chinese foreign minister stated that China and the U.S. are on course for conflict. That can never be good. Make sure we continue to pray for peace. And, as always, we just want, again, peace and safety for everybody. There's enough going on in the world right now. So make sure that you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, lover. Always welcome on the Market Reflection. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified when we do go live. Big event this week here at Top Step. We have a question and answer session with Michael Patak, the CEO, on Thursday, 3 p.m. Look forward to seeing you there. You can ask your questions there. Another thing is that I wanted to mention today is that the Trade of 8 platform had a big problem today. And while that's nothing that's in our control, we are going to be making it right. You can either get a reset, or we can remove the day from today. So if you were adversely affected at all, you get the opportunity to reset your account for free, or we can just delete the day today. So that's I think one of the best things that we can do to help rectify the issue. It happened during Make Hogue Money. The volatility, I think, of course, had a big part in the difficulties that the Trade Evade platform was having today, and we're hoping that they're going to make sure that this does not happen again. So what do we have as far as tomorrow is concerned? Again, the ADP employment report, international trade in goods, Powell speaking again, job openings and labor turnover, and the EIA petroleum status report. We are currently waiting for the API numbers as far as crude inventories are concerned. Those come out about 3:30, so keep an eye on those. What else do I have to tell you? I mentioned it on this morning's the forecast. Dad's birthday. It's my old man's birthday. He was born in 1926. That would make him 97. Died about 10 years ago in July, but he was a great man, and I miss him, and I love him. So happy birthday, Pops. All right. Good afternoon, my guy Vince. Will, good to see you. Zach, Joe, good afternoon. Anissa. Salt Bones, what's up? George, the center of the universe, is around here somewhere. Will, I really think this equity market is still high. At some point, clever accounting practices will catch up with the SPCFOs, and these multiples will drag the index down from 3,600 to 3,800 levels. You may be absolutely right, whether it's some accounting or just the markets in general. That takes us down to some lows we haven't seen probably here since December of last year, or even points lower than that. We could see that low from last year, that October low, at some point. Did we do that much damage today? We'll check that on the charts here shortly. What about funded accounts? If you were affected by funded accounts, that's something, of course, I would ask you to contact our support team. I know that we did ask people not to trade for a while today, and of course, there's really not much we're going to be able to do about that. But definitely, if you were affected, Zach, contact our support team. See what they can do for you. Okay. All right. What's up, Christopher, Nicholas, Josiah, Gear? Good morning, Caesar. Nicholas was interesting. It was interesting watching that video you linked yesterday by Don Kaufman. If it was easier to make sense of and have it actually apply. Yeah, well, that's this thing about everything, right? I mean, when we learn something new about something, it takes time for us to begin to assimilate the information. That's nothing that I've been focusing on as far as opportunities to trade. That's Joe Drinnan. Joe Drinnan is the one who brought that up and has been showing folks that, and been trying to leak in time to get to know a little bit more about it myself. Will says the market held up very well. The sellers won the day, but there's no capitulation of longs at all, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here as well. Will, we're going to take a look here in the charts as we speak. We're going to open up the daily chart in the S&Ps and take a look at what we're seeing. So the thing that strikes me as one of the most important features of the upside auction process, that it was only about 3 days long, was that on Friday, the lack of open interest increase was something that kind of left this kind of hollow for me. So it doesn't surprise me that with a little bit of sass from Chairman Powell, the market has basically taken us right back to where we started the day on Friday. Again, thinking that the market did hold up relatively well. We've still got our excess here. If this is the bulk of the storm, we'll be sitting and waiting for whatever's going to happen next. Here's what happened. We were in Make-Hogue money, just kind of watching and waiting to see what was going to happen. And there was a really good opportunity. And I think our good friend Ben really kind of pointed it out. And so did Fred Decker. The low from yesterday was the low of the first 30-minute period. That's a weak low. At 9 o'clock, when Powell's speech was released, the market broke and really quickly through that level. You really didn't have to risk much to get the continuation off. This was a weak low, and this was a weak low. There was a lot of things that we could have and should have noticed. What we were doing was we were looking to see if we could get a better trade location for a short against the high here. We never got the fill. The market started breaking, and then the platform broke into pieces. So we didn't really get to participate much in Make-Hogue money or in the Make-Hogue money account. I did not get much of an opportunity to participate in this downside move, but I'm a person that doesn't get to participate in downside moves. For some reason, many of them pass me by, and I'm okay with that. I know that there's going to be more opportunities coming tomorrow and in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. So I kind of missed this downside move, and I'm kind of bummed about it, but we just have to let that go and be ready and focused for what happens tomorrow. I mentioned in just about every forecast, we got to stay humble, grateful, creative, and centered. Well, if I'm not centered, if I'm not grateful, if I bring some hubris to the market, usually I get smacked. So tomorrow I'm just going to start from zero like any other trading day. Take a look at the TPO chart. Chad, when I was in the pit, there were so many traders that really focused on the short side. Pit traders loved the short side. The money came faster. There was a relatively big S&P trader who used to joke that the longest he ever was short 10. Now, he made money, but he had some really tough times. And another one of the best traders in the pit, when I asked him how he did it, he said he learned how to buy it. Because the market, does have a tendency to grind to the upside for long periods of time when there's no bad news. So we've got a double distribution trend day. The initial balance, the high of the session. Very little single TPOs, little single prints here. Basically right at the low of Friday. We started to balance here a little bit. Our excess is on the high. Excess on the daily also on the high. You see how this market acts tomorrow. And again, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of open interest we were able to add today. I'm thinking, maybe we're going to be adding some open interest. Where was our delta at the end of the day? Flat. The end of the day delta was flat. What about crude oil? Well, we know we're in rollover. We know we're in a long period of balance. We looked above and closed above last week's high, where we moved back lower. Market is rotating higher, rotating lower, rotating higher, rotating lower, rotating higher, rotating higher, rotating lower. It's in a pattern. The lack of open interest increase yesterday, again, kind of encourages the idea that this upside auction was hollow. It wasn't new business, it was old business. It was shorts getting out. We lost 2,600 in open interest yesterday in crude oil. Is that the case? What's the actual? We lost more. We lost more than that. We lost 3,000, 3,100. So the auction to the upside was, again, reading somewhat hollow according to open interest. Here's the 30. All right. Well, we tried to hold the last week's high as support. I think we kind of mentioned that, but boy, once it fell, it fell. Lots of movement. Where did the dollar close? Dollar closed up over 105. Up over 105. So big rally for the dollar. Everything else falls apart. We're going to go with a trend day double distribution in crude oil. Excess high. Yeah. IB high is the high of the session. Excess low. Where did that settle? 77.58. Not necessarily a true late spike, but we're already trading lower. How about the Nasdaq? So, not as bad as the S&Ps. Not as bad. Hang on a second here. So what about halfway through the range on Friday? Excess on both sides again, very similar there, but the Nasdaq held up a little bit better, didn't it? We closed this gap in the S&Ps. We weren't able to do so in the Nasdaq. Interesting. Similar situation. A period low just broke to the downside. But interesting that we didn't get as deep here in the Nasdaq. Weak low, continuation. Poor low down here. Not a very high excess low with excess at the high. I'm suspecting that there's probably more downside here in the Nasdaq. Here's gold. Well, stiff rejection. We've been building open interest overall through yesterday. Maybe through yesterday, yeah. Added on yesterday as well. So the auction was looking relatively okay. Volume, I think, is what killed this one. And then, of course, the dollar screaming to the upside. So last week's low is going to be somewhat pivotal moving forward through tomorrow. Double distribution trend day, a little bit of an extreme point of control down here. Look at the mess we left up here, though. Here's our recent lows. Last week's low, again, going to be somewhat pivotal. Here's the euro. Okay, well, we have now, I think, changed into a range-bound box more than a rising triangle or a symmetrical triangle. Last week's low is going to be kind of pivotal, as well as the weekly kickoff low down here. Boy, this market really just tanked. Take a look at the TPO chart. Looks like we may have a late spike here at the end of the day here in the euro. The 10-year, not a big deal. 10-year kind of yawned this off. What about the TPO chart? Finally, a little excess on both sides. Prominent point of control, relatively even bell curve. Looking for this market to move to a different level to facilitate trade. And get a little bit of day of rest here in the natural gas. Here's the 30. Support in the overnight at the weekly kickoff low. Support in the regular trading hours, perhaps relatively close to last week's low. We could feasibly leave an island bottom here. Don't really see it as one, but if we gap higher tomorrow, that may be a pretty decent reversal pattern. Here's the TPO chart. Late spike. Late spike, if we open with a gap, this is going to islandize these lows. Maybe we continue higher? Who knows? Who knows? Where am I? There we are. So I was wearing my black cardigan. Somebody noticed that this morning on the market forecast, and I had to take it off because I felt as though the break was going to continue forever as long as I still had that black cardigan on. So hopefully we were able to stop things a little bit from going too crazy. In history, today was a tough day in 1965. The Selma civil rights marchers were met with violence, and I can't really say too much. I wasn't there, but I hope that we can all put all this racism and all hatred behind us. It just stings me like bees. Wars and hatred, and it just 1999, Stanley Kubrick dies. In music, Townes Van Zant's birthday is today, on my dad's birthday. Townes Van Zant, singer, songwriter, music covered by Bob Dylan. Lyle Lovett, Steve Earle, Cowboy Junkies, just about everybody has done a Townes Van Zant song. Nobody really I know. Brian Wilson released Caroline, the first solo single by a Beach Boy on 1966 today. They were already old by that point. 1970, Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water started a 10-week run at number 1 on the U.S. chart. The duo had already split up by the time of the release of that album. How about that, huh? All right, let's just get down and be ready for tomorrow, huh? Yep. Good. Okay. All right. Well, let's get some rest and be ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We have the prep. We have group coaching. We have Make Hope Money late in the session. That might be a fun one tomorrow. And then the recap or the reflection. Thursday, the market prep. Then Make Hope Money, and then of course the Q&A session with Top Step founder Michael Patak on Thursday at 3 p.m. Central. Looking forward to that, and I will see you in the morning. Get a good night's sleep. Don't forget to be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Pray for peace, please. We need it, and again, get some rest. Have a good night, and we'll have a good day tomorrow. Good night.